Hey everybody, it's Bust with Battles with Bust number 185, and today we're going to be playing Fizz Riven. And so we are approaching seasonals, and Fizz Riven is kind of one of these fringe decks I'm interested in giving a go. I feel like the meta has kind of moved away from the things that really scare you in terms of Fizz Riven, right? You don't want to be playing Pirates, you don't want to be playing Anti-Gen, you don't want to be playing Lurkers. It's not to say that those are completely gone, but those kind of decks aren't really at the forefront right now. And then you also want to be dodging the kind of heavy challengers decks like Scouts, since they're able to come in and really dictate what you have on the board and prevent you from building up these big super units. And so as the format kind of slows down and it kind of has a bunch of bad removal running around in terms of interacting with Fizz and interacting with Riven, I think we might have a shot to try this and see how it goes. And so, as you can at least see on the matchup screen here, it's a pretty decent matchup against Nami Lee Sin. That's what we're looking to mainly do battle against in seasonals and expect to see it quite a bit. It does have a weaker matchup against Twisted Fate Swain, but we are looking to bring the concept of just banning Swain anytime he turns up. And so, if you're not ultimately familiar with what's happening here, if Fizz Riven is new to you, you're looking to just make a big super unit and get an OTK. The most common and easy ways to do that is going to be putting Papercraft Dragon onto something, and then giving that something Overwhelm. And so Fizz is a fantastic way to close out the games with the Papercraft Dragon, right? If we make Fizz elusive, he has 4 attack. If we give him an Elixir of Wrath, that takes him up to 7. Hitting for 14, typically close enough to close out the game. Otherwise, you have access to Riven, who loves these big combat boosts as well. And then everything else in the deck is really designed and centered on building this big super unit and getting an OTK. And so we're not going to be developing a lot of wide boards. We're not trying to get into a lot of intricate combats. We want to just jump in the early game, get in a bit of chip damage, get our opponent down to 14 or 16 if we can, and then we're looking to just score a big OTK with one of our champions here. And so, again, I did try this deck a while ago. As soon as the Papercraft Dragon nerf hit, I wasn't super impressed with it then, but with the release of the 316 patch, things have changed. Things have slowed down just a touch. The removal suites are a little bit different. We're not seeing a ton of mini-morphs running around in the control decks, and so I think it's at least worth giving Fizz Riven a shot before we really lock in our seasonals lineup. And so, that's the deck. That's what we'll be playing with today. Y'all know we don't have to pay the pay-to-win price on this one. This is one of these old seasonals decks for us. Everything in here is already premiumed. We're already skinned up, ready to go, ready for battle. Let's head on in there, Fizz. Yeah, I miss this deck, man. It's just so fun to come in here and slam for 24 and 26 in a turn. And just say, LOL, I did it. All right, let's see how it goes. Up against Nora Heimerdinger, I'm going to just search for some of our cheaper plays. This is the kind of deck to, again, where we can hopefully chip in 4 or 6 damage, and then once they start to develop those really wide boards and build up, hopefully we can punch in with a big OTK off the Papercraft Dragon. And so this is a space to where I would feel a little bit safer if we were playing seasonals, in the sense that we would know if they're playing Minimorph or if they're playing Vengeance. It's not super clear at this point what our opponent would be going after, and so Minimorphs are a little bit scarier in terms of what can happen to our Fizz, since it just gives them the opportunity to gives our opponent the opportunity to burst speed, take down a Fizz, to where if they're playing Vengeance, we can easily protect him with the Fizz abilities. Alright, but not the most exciting of fairies turning up, but we can still get in a little bit of chip damage here. Look to build up to this Fizz. The big thing to kind of consider with this deck is when you're going to be dropping this Papercraft Dragon. When it costs 5, you used to be able to bank up 3 mana, play it on turn 6, and then be ready with 4 mana backed up, which will give you access to something like Friendship. It's a little bit tougher to pull off these days, but as it kind of looks like with this, we should be able to try and build up to a turn 7 Fizz kill. That's the kind of big idea and concept we're going to be looking for here. All right, do we want any of these? You can look to pick up Gleaming Lanterns. This gives us the opportunity to play the Papercraft Dragon a little bit cheaper. And so that's what I'm going to look to build towards here. I'm going to try and get the Papercraft Fizz down next turn and see if we can't take them in for kills. So don't want to get the Lantern involved in combat. If we get to come down and dirtle around on this board a little bit, that's great. If we get our opponent a little bit of chip damage, that's great. But we're looking to build up into Fizz here. Nice portal hit. he didn't have anything that would kill the Sandhopper until right there at the end. All right, the question here is, are we willing to go ahead and deploy Fizz? The thing that worries me with this board and playing Fizz now is if he has a Quietus. If he has Quietus, we can cancel it with the Pokey Stick, which is kind of okay, but then we start running out of spell mana at that point. So I think we'll just wait a turn and then try and go for everything next turn. Whoa, we just really hit 3 portals? Wow, wow. He even I don't know if that's better or worse, seeing him get these additional summons out of the dude. Ooh, and he just overran a Vengeance. Interesting. Interesting. All right, so we'll take 8. All right, let's start doing stuff. He goes in for the Donger. The thing that we're going to have to look to do with this next turn is we don't currently have an Overwhelm, and he does have an Elusive in Nora. And so we're going to have to see if we can't stun her with the Wallop before the combat starts. We can try and Trinket trade into something. It's a little bit more dangerous. But, oh, okay, there's the Might. So sometimes you just draw it all. So let's see. We got a +2 attack fragment. Beautiful. Got an Elixir of Wrath. That's the big time stuff right there. Let's go ahead and send him in. So he's going to have to block with Nora, and then we'll follow up with the Might. Don't want to be playing Trinket trades here so that we can burst out a removal spell if we need it. All right, there's a lethal. See if he's got a Mini-Morph. Again, I don't think these decks usually play both Mini-Morph and Vengeance. I think they usually pick one or the other. And seeing him play the Vengeance, or seeing him overdraw the Vengeance, makes me feel a little bit better here. And so we'll see if we're able to take this down. Go ahead and counter this shit. No, thank you. Back to the dealing the 24 damages. He's got that 6 mana built up. Hopefully this wasn't just a big bait, a big bait into the Mini-Morph. No, nothing's happening here out of this fairy generation. We should be okay. Pokey sticks aren't going to do it, fam. All right, mark it a W. 1-0 bust. See if I can manage to keep drinking this Red Bull without spilling it. It's been trouble. It was tough this morning. I went to the grocery store. I had to buy some shit. I was like, oh, let's treat yourself, yo. Treat yourself a little bit. Get you one of them Red Bulls. And I did, and I was walking around. I didn't have a basket or anything, and I just dropped everything. And so I kind of smashed up the can a little bit. It's definitely tipping over and tipping around. A little worried that it's going to spill. Going to lose this nectar of the gods. But again, here, this is a pretty tough matchup against lurkers. Their the strategy is just a little bit faster than what we're doing, and so we can win, right? You can just say, "LOL, I have this big Riven draw. It sucks to be you," but typically isn't that great. So here, I'm willing to offer up trades. I mean, we have the last breath unit. We'd want it to kind of die anyways, but in terms of what opponent is doing here, I would like to be able to I would like to be able to just stop them from attacking. He's played a unit, so we can definitely come in here and attack. But if you can ever get Lurk in a spot to where they can't attack you, it feels pretty good. Ooh, and he whiffed. That's cool. I was thinking now, I kind of wish we had played the Yordle Squire first, so we could get that. We could burst out the +1 attack and then play a unit on the second turn. But it seems as though it turned out okay. Then one of the important things you can have happen in this matchup is what you hit with the Face Sprout. You can hit stuff like the Lifesteal unit, which tends to come out and cause a lot of problems for a deck like this. Here, I think I'm just going to pick up the Quick Quill. Let us get an attach, get some better attacks early. Can maybe load up our... Oh, would we rather just take the Librarian? She grows so fast. Alright. Let's take the Librarian. But I was kind of thinking if we take the Quick Quill, we can just kind of reuse that that bonus attack a couple times, but... Eh. Alright, Assistant Librarian, do your blocking thing. Fizz, you about to get boomed. I think we're okay with it. We don't have to win the game with Fizz. We just need to be a little bit protective of our Assistant Librarian here. Ooh, that was a very surprising attack. I thought they were just going to come in with everything. Okay. Let's see what we can find with the Face Sprout. Get a good attach? No. Sad noise. I'm just going to pick up the Loping Telescope here. Try and get a little bit of value out of it. Do we attack just yet? Like, we did spend the Overwhelm Fragment last turn to boost our Assistant Librarian, and now that fragment's gone, we're going to have to find another way to get the Overwhelm. But I think this is okay. We can attack with just him. If he put Pike on top of his deck, this is going to be a real pain in the dick, but I think we can get around this otherwise. And then if he wants to continue on with combats, we have the 2 Blade Squires on the board. So if we can manage to have one of those die, or both of them die, we can get the Riven Sword as the means of having a new Overwhelm. Interesting with the Hookmaster. I think we probably just want Crescent Strikes against this. Gives us the opportunity to shut down their big attacks. Like, if you want to play Rek'Sai on a turn, then you typically aren't going to have the opportunity to open attack, and so we should be able to respond with a Crescent Strike. I think we're okay, fam. Why do these look different? Oh, it's because it's a different unit. Because I guess that's why. I thought this was the same thing, but it had a different picture out here. All right. He just plays a Pike. Okay. What's he flip? He flips into Bone Skewer, right? So if he has another Pike around, he could potentially give him some stats. All right. Let's go big. I ain't scared. Say, got that juicy ribbon sword. Okay, never blocking that dum-dum. Now let's swing in. Coming at him for 24. If we needed to in the combat here, you can stun the unit out of combat and then just get the full damage in. But good stuff. Good job, deck. I'm proud of you. Making that bad matchup look good. Okay. The red Gwen. So what do we got here? We can hang on to some of our early interactivity. I think he's probably too aggressive to just be like, I'm just going to mulligan for Fizz. And then this will look okay if we pick up Riven. It is kind of nice to have these Rune Weavers. Like, to an extent, they do die to all of their 1 damage removals. Like, they get Vile Feasted and stuff, but it is able to block a Fearsome. It doesn't feel like there's much use in attacking here. Seems a little aggressive. He's the one that's just going to get the build up out of it.
A brief engagement, but a joyous one.
Now a burgeoning sentinel. Okay, I was gonna say, if I was happy to just like pass and have him come into the combat and then us play a play our pokey stick on one of these smaller bros, but let's go ahead and take this fearsome off of the board. A little bit of action, but not horrible. Vile Feast here would be kind of horrible, but doesn't show it. Where my champions at, bro?
To serve the greater good.
As I look right first.
The night is young.
I've got the reins.
All right. Only 2 damage, not that bad. Sure. Make that 4 damage. All right, and unfortunately can't play Papercraft Dragons this turn. Why do they got to make these cards so expensive? But we can build up into Riven for our next attack. What do we have in here? Quick attack, overwhelm, +2 attack. That's the first 3 Rivens. If we have 2 quick attacks, we can just go ahead and swing in here. I mean, I think we probably want to just go ahead and flip Riven. With only 4 mana, there's not a lot that they can actually do. Let's see, quick attack. Hang on. We should have put the quick attack over onto the other guy. I was getting excited about attacking with this Riven. Let's at least fix a piece of this while we can. We can't attack with this Rune Weaver anymore now, but that was a little sloppy. I gotta shake off the rust. It's been a while since we Fizz Rivened. Right, so ideally we would be killing... We should be killing both of his units in this combat, right? As we attack with Riven for the big amount. Did we not play the sword? Oh my god, I'm fucking losing it. Oh my god. That was just abysmal. Like, Just do everything possibly wrong. I. Alright, let's see if we can recover out of this one. Him playing Gwen does not scare me in any way. We can go ahead and drop this Papercraft Dragon onto Riven. And then probably just win next turn with Friendship. I don't know. We're doing a great job of just fucking this up. So why not find another way to just mess it up? Now, I don't want to put damage onto our Riven. I don't want her getting hit with Ravenous Flux. We want our opponent to have to like really work to take her down next turn. Whew. I'm trying my hardest to lose this game, but we might be able to pull it off. It's just a straight up overwhelm fragment. I think that's too small. We could look to play a trinket trade and then see what turns up, and then see if we hit a like flame chompers or something, whatever the +2 attack thing is, we might be able to just get a kill through. But it would have been a lot easier to take that kind of angle, even if we hadn't like super fucked up the previous turn and still got in an attack for like 10. So, hopefully this is enough. Okay, he's out of vengeance range now, so we can move away from trying to do a wallop play or doing a friendship play into just doing a wallop play. We should be fine now.
I'll have my revenge.
Got him real good, didn't we? Master class on how to play Fizz Riven. Oh my gosh, definitely got to get the rust knocked off of this thing. But I mean, these are the games I really like, just playing through a bunch of games straight through. You kind of get like the flow of the ladder, and I don't like to cut these things away just because I messed up. Like, everybody knows I'm not the best player in the world, but I do like to let people know that everybody messes up, even the best, even the #1 ranked player in the world according to ftpbus.com does make a mistake on occasion. And then the next thing that kind of comes with mistakes is what you will see happen a lot, especially if you have like people around you, like if you're playing against one of your friends in person or something, is that you make a mistake and you don't want your friend or your opponent or the person that you're physically playing to know that you made a mistake. And so you start doing a bunch of like weird shit to try to cover up that you made a mistake. And you try to come up with this exotic play to make it look like that was intentional. And that just is just a rabbit hole of nonsense that never works out. What you really need to be doing is, like with this game, where our intent was to put Quick Attack, Overwhelm onto the Rune Weaver, and then we want to put the Riven Sword onto Riven, and then we wanted to follow up that Riven Sword onto Riven with the +2 attack onto Riven, which would have then given her +4 attack. And we wouldn't have been able to got the lethal, but opponent probably has to block everything. They're looking at taking like 15 or 16 damage. And then we have a lot of options and opportunities for the next turn while we whittle down our opponent's board. But as you all saw what happened with that game, I put a Quick Attack onto Riven, and then my brain kind of sparked off. It said, hey, you're fucking this up. You're just going to give her Quick Attack twice. Put stuff over onto the other guy, right? And so I started to try and course correct a little bit. And then where I got bamboozled again, it was like just a brain fart as to where I thought that when the Riven flip was happening, we actually just put the sword on her. And so that's where that next piece kind of went downhill, was we actually put the +2 attack onto her instead of putting the sword onto her. And things were all kind of bamboozled at that point, but we didn't freak out. We still had an opportunity to win. We still had a lot of really high-powered stuff going on in our hand. We had the Riven that was flipped. We had the Papercraft Dragon. We had a trinket trade to search for a trick if we needed it. We had the Friendship to protect our Riven. Like, we had a lot of good stuff going for us. And so, just don't get drugged down into that black hole just because you fucked up. Everybody fucks up. I fucked up all the time, but I certainly don't like to have my video content be me making close to exceptional plays 8 games in a row, and everybody's just going like, wow, look what a special player he is, because everybody knows I'm not that special. But there is quite a lot to learn just out of that little sequence there, and I hope you're glad that that piece made the video. All right, next battle. So man, I've been struggling with this. This is a real pain point in my life. So I'm still one of those boomers that has a Netflix account. Not Netflix streaming, mind you, Netflix DVD. And I do move the DVDs onto a Plex server for easier viewing, and then I'm sure I immediately delete it after when I send the DVD back. But it's been a real struggle here recently. I tried to order movies like the classic Kindergarten Cop, and they don't have it on Blu-ray, and it's just like, God damn it. I really need to see Arnold Schwarzenegger in this fucking 90s movie doing his best work in Ultra HD, and it's just not available. And I don't know what to do. I don't know if I'm supposed to, like, write my congressman, write my senator, find someone really important out there in the world to relay this knowledge to. And it's just, God damn it. Why does my life have to be so hard? But here, this is tough. Usually, you don't see Legion rearguards coming out of Twisted Fate Swain. Not entirely certain what's happening here whatsoever. But I was willing to play it just like a little bit slow. There is a good argument for us having gone in here and just immediately traded our Fizz for the Legion rearguard so we could buy a little bit more time. But I kind of felt like this guy was going to be pretty slow here, and I didn't feel it was ultra necessary to push in the Fizz to stop the damage. Now we're in kind of like a bind. I don't want to lose Riven to like a 1 damage ping, so trading her into the black market merchant doesn't feel very good. And say if he has a Ravenous Flock, there's not anything we can do about it, but we can try and play around cards like Death's Hand. We can try and play around another Make It Rain, whatever 1 and 2 damage kind of cards he has by leaving our Riven back. And so this is not good. We're getting pretty boomed here. We're going to need to just develop a big OTK turn. And so we got to start adding a little bit of this stuff to the board. I guess the question becomes, like, can we win without the double attack? Right? We're looking for turns to where we get multiple attacks in with this Ruined Reckoner. I think we can maybe pivot to just a Face Sprout. Fey Folk is beautiful. This should buy us a ton of time. Assuming opponent doesn't have any interactive options here, this is a great target to get multiple attacks in with. Ideally, we would have had a quick attack to put onto this thing, but we'll see how these turn out. The fuck? Oh, he's got our Conchologist. Oh, Jesus, that's scary. Little bit scary. Damn. Okay. He's out of mana. I'm gonna go ahead and drop the Fizz. I want to get something happening with Fizz here. Just a little bit of something, not a lot of bit of something, because we're gonna have to try and like tap out next turn for the Papercraft Dragon, and then get a win on the following turn. Now, it seems like we're kinda safe, at least in terms of dodging some of this damage, but right, I think he should have a pretty tough time killing us. I'm leaning towards just stopping here. If he wants to start investing mana into Fizz, I think it's okay. If he taps out for Swain, then we have this option to wallop him next turn. So Swain's not a big worry. We've still got 1 more mana we can spend. I'm kind of okay with dropping a Trinket trade just to see what turns up. So if we're like rolling into our next attack turn, we already have a combat trick lined up. Maybe we should just save it. It's like we're probably not going to be able to spend all of the mana. Maybe we do, if it comes down to playing a Ruined Reckoner at some point. Let's see what turns up. Otterpuss is okay. Okay, give us a free block for the next turn. I don't think we should be short between the Papercraft Dragon and the Elixir of Wrath. That's like 5, 7 would be 14. That would be a little bit short. A little bit short. Now, the Papercraft Dragon is a little bit scary to be dropping this turn, and we already have like some options with our Fizz. I'm leaning towards just dropping the Ruined Reckoner, and then putting an Elixir onto Fizz, and then next turn we can drop a Papercraft, but is that too scary? I think this is okay.
I serve a nobler
This will
cause.
flip our Fizz as well. The scary thing with going with this is if he's going to start like casting a bunch of spells on our dudes, then we, oh no, are we going to miss out on this because we can't prank? We could have leveled up our Fizz. Oh no, and then the Ruined Reckoner just gets stunned. He can still attack here, though. He can get a free attack if he wants. But
To serve the greater good.
he dies to all the units on board. Let's take this one.
Finally, some action.
Oh, he takes it? That sounds very bold. Yeah, so the thing to worry about now is going to be something like a Scorched Earth. I think we probably just have to go for it at this point, but let's at least lead off with a prank. Maybe we'll see what we're getting ourselves into. He has a Ravenous Flock, and so we can't load up the Reckoner with the Papercraft, or it's just going to get killed by Ravenous Flock. Good to know. Guess we'll load up load up Little Bro here. I believe in you. Sometimes you just need a little faith in your friends.
My time.
Sure.
After the battle,
So that was tough. I think we could have done something against that Twisted Fate here, but curious if he already has the Decimate. You get these filthy folks that are preemptively emoting.
Carry your own gear.
This will take us to 1. It's kind of dangerous, but I don't think... Well, I guess we could potentially still win the game through the Rune Weaver. Okay. So I don't want to die to a Make It Rain or a Twisted Fate. There's a big difference between being at 1 and being at 2 against these decks. This seems like the kind of fellow that's going to be dropping Decimates on us, and so we might just be done for anyways, but
I write the rules.
we'll see. We're going to give ourselves that shot.
Treasures of the ages for a price.
All right, Rune Weaver. Do the work. Do the magic. I believe in you. And 2 quick attack fragments. That's dumb. That's dumb. Get that out of here. All right. Well, we got a shot. Doesn't feel like a good shot, but, you know, we got stuff out here. Dum Dum maybe emoting a little bit too early. Give us a chance to take this one down. Gives an ally barrier. Okay. A little unfortunate, and nothing we can pick up out of here. All right, GG. Man, I miss it. I love being able to defeat opponents when they drop the good game emote a little too early. We didn't quite get it there, but it does give us a little food for thought in terms of if we should have protected that Fizz from a 1 damage AoE. The only thing that was really cruising through my mind was a Make It Rain. Now this guy knows what's up. If you need a lesson on making a name, good old butt stuff 420 doing battle here against 69 420 butt chug. This is a battle for the ages. Oh man, I'm excited. I don't know about you. Playing Poppy Tarek is not the not the most ideal matchup, but I am excited to do battle with 69 420 butt chug. I wish I could switch over to butt stuff 420 just so we could have the appropriate naming on the board. I'm gonna have to double check. Like I should know. Like if we're gonna be out here playing this deck, we should just know if Fizz gets to counterspell red cards. Pretty sure he doesn't. Pretty sure that's not how that works. So I didn't feel too obnoxious there in that last game, but if that would have protected our Fizz, that could have definitely got us some wins. He comes in with Tarek. We got to get in an attack here. I want to start... Well, I guess we don't have to do it this turn. We can roll around to the next one and then look to do this Ruined Reckoner into Riven kind of play. The Tarek causes problems. I was thinking that we're going to be able to, say, quick attack Overwhelm and spend our mana on it this turn, but I think we're just stuck waiting till next turn. But in the meantime... Let's try and clear up some board here. He's never going to block with Tarek, I don't think. I think there's a good chance he just takes some extra damage. And then if he wants to try to make some challenges into Riven, then we'll have stuns. So we shouldn't be losing our Riven on this upcoming turn. And then he's going to be really counting on a concerted strike to stop this Riven from popping off. Pass.
You call this a fight? Hardly fair.
Never submit.
All right. Our unit has been downed. How much do we have to worry about? It's a little scary when he's hanging out with this 5 mana. And so I'm leaning towards, like, let's start with this. Let's play Fizz. I don't think I'm going to go for it this turn. I want to have this friendship for next turn. But we can start spending some of this mana. I don't want to completely lose out on all of our mana this round. Ooh, he goes for the Aegeus. All right. Well, we have to stop here. We can't... He's going to get the rally. That's okay. But we can't have him rallying twice. So we'll just go ahead and drop the wallop. He's going to get a hook into Fizz, which is okay. Another +2 attack fragment. Okay. Quick attack. 2 attack. Overwhelm. We're gonna play the Blade of the Exile this time. Not letting it slip away from me, Riven. You get your big sword. And this is likely where we'll have to stop for the turn. We'll try and get a kill next turn. got all these friendships. There's no reason to be just dying to no reason to just be dying to concerted strike. Let's see. If he taps out too low, we can still just come back and kill with the Ruined Reckoner. Like if he says, "Oh man, I'm taking all this damage. Here's a rally," then we do have the opportunities to just kill this turn. Looks like what he's going for. Okay.
Noxus will pay for what they did to us.
I guess the one to worry about now would be the single combat, right? Single combat would be problematic, killing our Riven. I don't usually play those dumb cards. Who plays dumb stuff like single combat? Pale Cascade. All right. I think we're good. I think we're okay, fam. So, let's just not die. We shouldn't be able to die here anyways, but... Alright, whatever, we'll pull it back. Get this +2 attack fragment. Get this attack booming in. 12 minus 7 is 5. I did the mathematics on this one so you all didn't have to. 12 minus 7 is 5. Opponent is 4. This is going to be a lethal. Boom it. Sorry, old butt chug, 69 420. I hate to do that to such a fellow friend. I hope he's like right in the same boat as us, man. Just some dude pushing 40 out here just slaughtering the kids at the children's card game and making the names that make the 13-year-olds giggle. Good old butt chugging. I've been in the previous fantasy football season. I had esteemed quarterback Matt Ryan as my quarterback in one of my leagues. He often goes by the name Matty Ice, which then gets compared to the horrifically terrible beer Natty Ice, or Natural Ice, if you will. And I was using the name Butt Chuggin' Natty Ice with Matty Ice as our fantasy team last season. I've still carried it over to this one. I didn't have any clever names to make on the team this time, but you know that's what we're all about.
See the world from behind a basilisk.
All right, block. Nope. It says not yet. It's interesting with the librarian. We don't have real great targets for it though. We're not going to be like leveling up anytime soon. Why I said that was interesting with the librarian is this puts us in spots to where we might want to push out a conchologist, but it's like I don't like to waste too many of these fragments just on nothing burgers for the assistant librarian, and so I don't think we'd want to spend it on the conchologist though, or spend a conchologist spell on the librarian. All right, we're just going to be building into this Riven for a little bit, and then we'll see if we want to either try and go for like Riven kills or Fizz kills, but Riven should be the play next turn. And so if we want to kind of build up that board, we want to lose the Blade Squire here, and then have 2 mana for Riven next turn so that we can give her quick attack overwhelm and just get a little quick boom in there, a little nugget of that high life. And then we shouldn't have to worry about giving up the overwhelm fragment, because then we're going to be playing the we're going to be playing the big sword on the following turn. We could just go for the flip here. I don't want to add Riven on this board though. I don't want her to get hit with a black spear. This deck plays them sometimes coming out of the Nasus Kindred, and that would just be sad. Sad news for old Bust. I mean, you're always pretty close to getting lethals in this spot. When she flips up to 4, right? So we'd have her at 4, 6, if we put the +2 attack on her, and then another +6 with the Elixir of Wrath gets her up to 12. It's a lot of damage. It's not what we're going to be going for here, but you get to watch out for some of these things with Riven. It's down to 2 mana now. Do we ever like? I don't super worry about losing Fizz here, but we do have that opportunity to just like chunk down half of our opponent's health on this round. I think it's probably a little bit aggressive going for the Fizz, but we can safely level up Riven.
There's still much to answer for.
So I'm not going to play the sword this round. We're going to save the sword for something else. We already have this giant Riven on board, and we can give her +6 attack with the Elixir of Wrath. This will be the first time the flipped Riven has seen the bonus attack come down. So now she'll be at 12. Should be overwhelming for 11. Opponent almost always blocks here. There's no reason to leave your health that at risk. It's like typically every point here matters, and this prey does not matter. Friendship, beautiful. My Red Bull's all flat now. I shouldn't have dropped it in the grocery store. It's like I feel bad just taking it and putting it back on the shelf. I mean, I'm sure in its journey from Switzerland, right? It says it's made in Switzerland, that it probably got shook up on the airplane or the boat, whatever it got here on. You know, got shook up a little bit, but
No more hesitation.
I just feel bad dropping it in the store. That's tough. All right, but here, opponent can Black Spear now, but Riven will survive it. I feel good enough to just go ahead and put Conchologist on the board. We can 3-bank the turn away, see if any of these cards are going to be of use for us. Not entirely, but Blade's Edge is the only one that's going to deal damage to our opponent here. So we'll go ahead and snatch it up. We could look to go ahead and play a Fizz. He's not super necessary, but he's a potential. I was really hoping to just come in and pick up a combat trick and then be able to boost up our Riven. Right, we have to do it at slow speed with the Blade of the Exile. So, next turn, we most certainly need this 5 mana for the Blade of the Exile Friendship. We don't really have the mana to spend on anything else. It's got to be a matter of, do we need this Wallop, which we may, right? If opponent's going to come down and say we play the Blade of the Exile on Riven, and then they play Viego or Nasus, whatever their big boy is, we probably need to be able to Wallop him out. We're going to be pretty short on damage with Fizz. To get up to 8. Quick attack and not +2 attack kind of sucks. So we're still good with the Fizz, right? We've got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 with the Wallop, so we can add Fizz. See if opponent does anything clever, and then that does give us access to a Playful Trickster. So if we get to attack with both of our units, Playful Trickster the Fizz out of combat, that is the opportunity for a second attack. Pretty cool, huh? Pretty cool. What you gonna do, Fam Jam? You gonna tap out for Nasus? I'd feel pretty cool with that. I feel pretty good. Why don't you just tap out for a do nothing unit? One of my favorite plays to see. Alright, so this will get Riven up to 8 attack. And so regardless of what blocks her, we have this opportunity to wallop. Ideally, we wouldn't have to play the wallop, but life's all about opportunity, isn't it? GG. Market a W. FTP bust. Y'all forgot how awesome this deck was. We need to bring back that sweet lineup to where we play Fizz Riven and we play Action Renekton and then we play some kind of Gnar OTK. Just the triple Papercraft Dragon lineup. I miss that being a thing. That was such a fun set of decks. It's even gotten like weakened since the deck was in its prime. They printed all these shitty portal fairies that weaken up your the portal fairies weaken up your face sprouts. Stupid portal fairies. Nobody wants junk construct. Nobody wants whatever ribbon fairy, ribbon dragon, whatever that dum is called. Nobody wants it. Just take it out of the game, Riot. All right, well, let's see what we can do. We didn't get any of our champions to start with. We have all the utility that we could be looking for in this match. And typically, I mean, we're playing against Swain Nora. We should have the time to build up to a Papercraft Dragon. And so you can kind of at least start to see that if we pick up a Papercraft Dragon, we could probably play it on pretty much anything and look to get a kill. But, of course, prefer it to be on a Fizz, a little bit safer. So this dum is playing Bandle City Noxus. We don't have to worry about Make It Rains. We do have to worry about things like Poison Dart and Pokey Stick. But he should just be making 1-for-1 trades with our 1 health unit, not being able to get the 2-for-1s that you would see out of Make It Rains or Twisted Fates. And not expecting this to get a lethal in, but if we're able to get our opponent down to like 14 or 12, that really opens up the possibilities that we can kill them even with just shit like this, right? Where we have +6 attack from the elixir, up to 9 with might, 10 with the spear. Like, we have lots of OTK potential here. It's a lot more dangerous, but whenever you get this chip damage in, it gives you a little bit of something. Now with this, I think I'm just going to go with the Face Sprout. There's some good hits on it that aren't just Papercraft Dragon. Like, even just picking up the Elusive here wouldn't be terrible. Let's see if we hit anything nice. The Rainbow Fish is the one I was talking about, but the thing with the Grandfather Fae is it lets you generate this dum with the Spell Shield, and then once you have the Spell Shield, you're able to punch in for OTKs. And so what I think I'm going to do, I'm going to pick up Grandfather Fae. I'm going to come in with the Rune Weaver. I'll come in with the Grandfather Fae second. I don't want him to just have the immediate advertisement that we're generating a spell shielded unit. And then we can use that to be our kill method for this game. Nora's Portal Palooza, you say? Interesting. Interesting hitting the powder keg. Let's get that out of here. It worries me a little bit. Not a big amount, but he does have a lot of damage, a lot of burn coming out of this deck, and so he has some potential for shenanigans with it. Portals into the Sea Beast. I'm going to say here, if he attacks with the Sea Scarab, I'm going to block. We want to strip away any of the health that he has. That kind of counts as damage to face if we're going to be making this OTK attack on the next turn. Right? If the Sea Scarab has 1 health, that's kind of like the damage done directly to him when we're attacking with the Overwhelms. Okay, so are we ready to go for it? I mean, I think we might have to. A lot of their spells, like they're gonna have access to Pokey Stick. Let's see what we trinket trade into. Sharpened Resolve. Okay, I feel a lot better about this now. And so we're gonna go might. Let's, I guess, count. we might be short of 14. What do we have? 3, 6, 9 with the elixirs. That would be up to 12 with the Outcat. And we're going to have to wallop through that, right? But we don't have to play all of our cards right here at the beginning. So we don't use either Blade Fragment. We're at 1, 2, 4, 5. And then that's going to give us the opportunity to either... Here. It's going to give us the opportunity to either stun or... Oh, this is just short. We should not have played all these spells. We should not. I saw his board fill out, and I assumed that we were just kind of done for here. But we could have given this a little bit more time. I don't like. He's not going to kill us next turn. This is probably a little bit too spewy. But we might have an opportunity to circle back around for round 2. If these are like Pokey Sticks, then we have a shot. So right now the Disintegrate is going to be getting spell shielded. And then we now survive this. He needs a second Disintegrate. Yep. Okay. Probably done for, but we can top deck like a boss and hit a Papercraft and a Fizz or something and potentially get a kill. So let's see. We definitely want the Blade Squire to die. In terms of these other ones, again, we want to shrink up the health if we can. I guess it's not entirely necessary since we have Wallop, but these units aren't going to be dealing damage this game. So let's at least go ahead and shrink up the health. If we have some kind of two-pronged attack next round, we might be able to get an OTK in. And then he just lost a Disintegrate. I'm not entirely certain what this deck's kill suite's going to look like, their removal suite, but getting Disintegrate out of here is certainly positive. Like Riven's about to eat a Ravenous Flock. Why else would he play the Arachnoid Sentry right now? Yeah. Okay. But I felt like we needed to spend that mana. If we're going to draw like a Papercraft Dragon or something on this turn, then we need that little bit of extra punch. Here we go. Nothing can go wrong. Sometimes you just got to say, I push all my chips in the middle. You say, I don't care. Fuck. Alright, we're not going to push all our chips in the middle this round. We will say fuck, and then we'll move on to the next turn. he may not be able to kill us here. Okay, we can wallop Swain. Kind of sketchy, bro. Kind of sketchy. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. All right. Well, let's see if we draw something cool. I don't know, man. All right, there's Fizz. Maybe that's enough. All right, only falling to 2. Suck my butt, dude. We're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. Okay, so now the new thing for next turn is we're gonna need a Papercraft Dragon. Oh, we don't have any burst spells though. We can't play Fizz right now. I was gonna say I want to just go ahead and like play a Tiny Spear, spend some of these not necessary fragments, so that if we do draw the Papercraft next turn, then we can just kind of be ready. But maybe it's safe to drop Fizz now. He's gonna need a Death's Hand. And this, like, I don't think a Trinket trade would be enough, but this would be the kind of spot to where a Trinket trade could potentially start to get lethals. Right, so we're just gonna spend it down. These are the important ones for the next turn, the +2 attack and the overwhelm. Quick attack never matters here, so we're just kind of ready. We spent some of that mana. We're going to bank up to the maximum. See what we can do. Oh, we just died to the Leviathan. I was like, the fuck happened? I was like, did he concede? I was like, did we get a concession? That was like red swirlies on the screen. Oh, okay. Alright, whatever, dude. Alright, final battle, though. Last one. Game 8. Let's see how it goes. Swain, Twisted Fate again. I guess the last one was the Nora version, but at any rate. Starting with Riven, and I like to just mulligan for other Riven stuff. Just see if we can't get the opportunity to hit with her really fast.
I'm cold, I'm hungry, and there's rocks in me boots. It's my time.
They don't always have the greatest draws, great capabilities of interacting with Riven, and so it can be kind of nice. Do we want to move into the Assistant Librarian? It's like our amount of Riven swords is kind of lacking right now. I think this is okay. The only way that this really like gets bombed on is if he has the Arachnoid Sentry into the Ravenous Flock. Like if he has to spend a bunch of spells to kill Riven, then I don't feel as bad about it. But if he just has like the unit to put on board and then immediately gets the kill in the middle of combat, that's kind of painful. Like he's going to have another card here. This is okay. Got the guillotine out of the way. It's alright. We got a fragment. Don't have a quick attack one, though. In this kind of spot, I do like having access to the quick attack, because that lets us not have damage on the Librarian. And these are all good fragments, too. Alright. I'm going to save the Overwhelm for next turn, so if we attack and he blocks with Zap, we should have an opportunity to at least draw another card. Maybe get a little bit more going here. Don't want to give him the opportunity to just, like, play Swain, though. So we're going to go ahead and get this attack in. But see, like this now leaves us like we've made moderate investments into this Librarian. It's by no means a super huge investment in it, but if we have the quick attack here, it takes so much more work for the opponent to deal with this. Right now he has a whole host of Ravenous Flock kind of cards that can be used to take the Librarian down, where if you have that quick attack coming in, it's a lot less painful. We got the quick attack now. Look out. We got it. Riven. That's a potential spicy opener for the next round. let's go ahead and bank here. We could potentially cycle the Pokey Stick, but I think we want to bank up to max mana. We're not stuck right now. We don't have to deal with this Swain, but I think we would rather save the Wallop for next turn. It's kind of okay to just block him with the Assistant Librarian.
Heart and blade, both broken.
Heart and Blade both broken? Why are you so sad, Riven? Did she lose her lover, and that's why she's so angry with this sword? Oh man, even that which is fragmented can be made whole, reforged in purifying light. It's probably Thresh. Thresh seems like the kind of guy that would just come out here and kill Riven's friends, isn't he? It was probably Thresh. Dick. Real dick move, Thresh. You wonder why you don't have any friends. Well, this is why. But we're going to be short on lethal in this upcoming turn. It's definitely not coming through. Never blocking any of these little dum-dums. Again, I don't want that damage stacked up onto our team. So this does give us an interesting spot now in terms of the Librarian being able to punch in damage. Like, we just have the quick attack fragment. It's not that great here, but like if we get to come in and protect our Librarian a little bit, we could use that as the source of kills here instead of Riven. Got 2 mana. So this will take her up to 8 attack. And now, if we want to next turn, if we play a Might onto Riven, that'll give her +6. Heavy Metal into Fizz. So we want to have 10 mana next turn, right? We want to have Might, Wallop, Friendship. And so we can't protect the Fizz here. But is that enough? That's enough for lethal, right? It's not directly, but it would be with the Pokey Stick. Right, 6 into 8 is 14. Okay. RIP Fizz. We could have protected him with the Trinket trade, but I think this Might Wallop Friendship combo under Riven is probably the safer way to go about this. Did things just change though? If she already has it, we take her up to 10, or this would take her up to 12, and then we can have a 9 power. This is going to be 21 power of Overwhelm. 21 into 8 is 13, and then we still have some options. I think I like this. So let's do this. 2 attack fragment onto Riven. Attack with both. You can see what they do, and then potentially Might the Librarian.
You pay first.
Bringing in something. Not blocking with Swain. That's a positive. It gives us some opportunities to definitely close this one down. Just a Ravenous Flock. So I think what I want to do is just let this go. Let that happen. We can boost. Is that okay? I guess the question would be, does he like him having a Disintegrate play to come back in and take down Riven? So strange he didn't even bother to block. Okay. The problem with the Spell Shield play here is if like we just load up on our Riven and then he's able to play around her, then we're just gonna struggle. So now we don't have to worry about too much more. I don't want to play the Wallop this turn because we're going to use it next turn on Swain. I think we're safe to just play a Trinket trade and see what turns up. Anything interesting? Electro Harpoon does 2 to a unit and 2 to the Nexus. So we're going to want that. Now we can switch over and just Might Riven. Take her up to 15. She'll come in for 3, or leave them at 2 now. We can kill with a Harpoon on the next turn. Uh-oh, Swain flips. Alright, good job, girl. I don't know why you're so sad. You shouldn't be sad, Riven. You're bringing us so many joys. So many sweet wins. All the biggest of plays. Somebody's out there making you sad. Was it Garen? Is Garen her lover? Why isn't it in any of the pictures? It should directly say on the thing. Should just say it. Let me know. Alright, Conchologist coming in. More Electro Harpoons. That's how you finish a game. The burn spells. Oh no, did we just lose? Did we just lose because of the Riptide Rex? Oh, we're only taking 4. Okay. You gotta make considerations about these kind of things. Oh no. That could have been a disaster. Alright, let's get let's get this shit out of here. No more Riptide Rexes. Jeez, just let me drop the heat beforehand. Woo! Alright, GG. And so yeah, not a bad set of games. Again, the plan that we kind of have with this deck or this lineup that we're looking to bring is to allow Nami Twisted Fate to stay up. I know that that's fairly dangerous. It's easily kind of the best deck in the format, but again, and kind of my thinking with it at a high level, I'm no good with the deck. I don't want to play mirror matches, so we're not going to play it. I don't want to bring a lineup that just looks to ban it, and so that leaves me in a spot to where I'm looking at decks that are just good against it. And it does turn out that a lot of the decks that I like to play are quite good against Nami Lee Sin, Nami Twisted Fate, and so it gives us some pretty decent opportunities, right? So if we're looking to play a deck like Fizz Riven, Nami's typical only way to interact with what you're doing is a homecoming. And so that leaves you with many opportunities to just get these big soul-crushing turns because they can't interact with Fizz pretty much whatsoever. And then their interaction with Riven is possible, but they lose a lot of their tempo, and they just kind of have to have it at the right time for that to go off. And so this does definitely have a spot in the meta. I'm kind of interested. I'll play it more across the day and see how I feel if this is a spot to potentially replace our Sejuani deck with, because I am pretty intent at this point to play Poppy Tarek. I think that that's in a really good spot right now, and I do want to be playing Swain. I think that Swain is just too good to ignore, but we are playing Swain in that Pirate Shell, and I'm okay with the Sejuani Gwen deck, but the matchup there against Nami Twisted Fate is pretty even, but I feel like a lot of the power in that deck comes in its ability to play the Harrowing against Swain. And if our game plan is going to be playing against Nami, I don't feel super comfortable playing a deck that needs to land a Harrowing a lot of the times. And so playing against the Deny deck, being able to Harrowing isn't always a possibility, as to where playing against Swain, it was guaranteed to land. And so I'm interested in something like Fizz Riven. I'm not ready to pull the trigger on replacing Sejuani Gwen with this. There's just like so much opportunity to get domed by the aggro decks of the format that it's a little bit scary to bring something like Fizz Riven, is to where I feel like the Sejuani Gwen deck is kind of like a 50-50 across the board. And so if we have to play against Lurk, it's not the end of the world. If we have to play against tokens or play against Annie Gens, it's not the end of the world. To where Fizz Riven gets smoked by something like Annie Gen or tokens. And so it does really add a lot of like a polarized aspect to our deck. And as much as I do expect Nami to be quite popular across the format, I don't think we'll play against her in more than like 4 or 5 of our matches. And so you do run into these spots as to where did you really kind of like overthink your lineup and stop bringing good decks just to try and pick on something like Nami, to when that was just, if it's 33% of the format, that is a large market share, but you're only playing that in like 3 or 4 matches and not playing it in like 6 or 7. And so I feel like really comfortable with this idea of just banning Swain. I feel really comfortable with this idea of letting Nami stay up. It's just that matter of, are we getting too polarized in our deck lists in comparison to what they're good against the rest of the field? And I'm good with the Pirates. I'm good with Poppy Tarek. Fizz Riven feels like it's starting to push into that realm of really polarized, to where Sejuani is good against much more the mid game, right? If you play against scouts with Sejuani, you can be like, oh well, it's the harrowing still, but yeah, you don't have those great turns with Fizz Riven. And so I'll think about it. If you have thoughts, let me know. I know this will be coming up right before Seasonals comes out, but nonetheless, this is the kind of the kind of meta to where Fizz Riven can make a comeback and prey. You could see in a lot of those games, we didn't even win with the Papercraft Dragon, right? I think maybe 2 of our 6 wins involved a Papercraft Dragon. And so even with it being expensive, was by far not a death knell for this deck. We're certainly capable of winning games without it. And so, lots to think about. Nonetheless, I had fun with these. I hope you had fun too, because that is going to do it for us today. And so I hope everyone enjoyed the video. I hope your OTKs are as grand as they can be. I hope you maybe learned a thing or two along the way and had a good time watching. Now, this is Bust, and we thank you for being here.